Kempire is brought to you by...
'Tis the season to be jolly, guys. Happy holidays for those that are listening to this new episode. But before you get into the episode, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience is returning to Washington, D.C. on Friday, January 24th for a special show. I know a lot will be happening that week, but hopefully we will be the ending to, the most wonderful ending to an interesting week. And don't forget, for Black History Month, the Kempire After Dark live experience will be returning as well for a third show at the Green Room 42 for the Kempire After Dark live experience on Friday, February 21st. Tickets are available for that as well. And special for this show only, there are live stream tickets available as well. More information on both shows will be available in the description notes.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
What is going on? Happy Monday, guys. Happy holidays. Happy early New Year. I hope everyone is doing well. Shout out to everyone watching from around the country and around the world for our Love and Marriage Huntsville recap. I will be talking about the Martell and Tasha K drama. I will also be talking about Belle Collective. We're actually going to start off with Belle Collective because I did watch the reunion, and I understand watching the reunion isn't necessarily enough to understand the complexity of some of the relationships that have played out during the season. So I'm just putting out a disclaimer ahead because I don't need people in the comment section, well, you didn't see this. I am telling you, I'm basing my thoughts and opinions off of the reunion and some of the things that I've seen already because I have watched Belle Collective in the early seasons. I just haven't watched the last couple of seasons, okay? All right. Mr. Melody and Martell says, Espos rise. I don't think they have to rise today, right? Well, no, they do. When we talk about the Martell stuff, they will need to rise up against Martell, okay? I didn't realize in the live chat, so Breon says, those doctors getting down in the hospital take me out every time. Wait, hold on, go on. Take me out every time, because where are the patients? I didn't realize you guys find that funny, because even a model maven says the medical professionals dancing get me every time. Yeah, look, they enjoy, we have quite a few medical professionals that enjoy the Kempire experience, okay? All right, so shout out to, not Lockjaw's Rise, you know what? Mr. Melody Magic, I hope that for the new year you choose to do better and be better, okay? Anyways, guys. All right, so I just want to first talk about Belle Collective before we get into the mess of it all, just because I did end up watching it. And Tambra, you still on this show giving absolutely nothing? And I'm not talking about when she talked about, her postpartum. I'm not talking about that because that was towards the end of this reunion, and I appreciate her sharing that. But based off of this reunion, Tambra, you still have brought absolutely nothing to the show. And look, and that man did not show up to the reunion. Well, he has a job. In order to stay with me, he has to, Well, I'm changing her voice because I can't even mimic whatever that voice is that y'all listen to on the radio. All right. I bet some of them are happy that I wasn't recapping the show. Some of y'all are probably happy that I stopped recapping this show. But the fact that Tambra's man still, because he's working, well, apparently he doesn't have one of those types of jobs where he's not the boss and say, I'm going to take this day off so I can be by my woman's side. He's got to keep. I don't get that relationship. I never got that relationship. I thought that relationship wasn't real until the baby came. Okay. But okay, Tambra, if they feel that you add value to the Belles, they don't want to bring back the doctor, but they have you on the show bringing absolutely nothing? Okay. I mean, I did appreciate Tambra chiming in during certain parts because some people could not articulate themselves. The other thing, and I know y'all going to go with the narrative, Kempire, why do you hate Carlos so much? I have to point out what I watched. And when you put yourself out there as a star, as opposed to an executive producer, you open yourself up to criticism. Why is it that Carlos is trying so bad to be the star when he should be highlighting the people that are actually supposed to be the stars on this show? We're seeing him arrive. We have the other executive producer going around and asking the questions. And normally when we see like an Andy Cohen going around to the women and asking the questions, I don't get why at the very beginning Carlos is introducing each lady to have a seat. Letitia, Tambra, I'm like, why are we? Let's get to the meat of it. If you don't have meat, then why are we here? Why are we introducing everyone as they're seated? No. Okay. Anyways, and then why is Carlos quoting himself? Like, I saw so many, for the majority of this reunion, it was Carlos having moments as opposed to us getting to the meat of what's going on between the people. And you already know how hard it is for me to listen to that voice. So I had to listen to that and listen to this reunion because somebody said, Kempire, can you talk about Belle Collective? Well, you see what I have to deal with? This is what y'all gonna get. Look, it's y'all fault. Okay, it's y'all fault. Got me watching this. Carlos is quoting himself, in the words of Carlos King. If you have to quote yourself, it says more about you and your narcissism than anything else. And maybe that's why you had sympathy for Martell. He says, in the words of Carlos King, Carlos King is here with us. You can just say it. Carlos King is literally here. You can just say it. In the words of Carlos King. Oh, okay. I did end up watching, Willie has a podcast, and JJ was on it. And sorry, JJ, I heard that you lost your mom. And he talked about that in this podcast episode. Willie explained why they decided not to return. As you know, we had that moment, the drop the mic moment with Aikisha. And I told y'all, if y'all missed it, I DM'd Aikisha and I sent her the GIF emoji of Tasha Smith from Why Did I Get Married? And she goes, boom. I said that to her. I said, boom. But Willie did explain further on his podcast why exactly they decided to go. And honestly, I thought they would have made that decision a long time ago, but maybe the big, trying to bring attention to Ferris Street and getting something done there was far more important. So he did talk about that and why they decided to go. And it wasn't to be shady. I think that was Aikisha's Leo. She was just like, I wouldn't have you find out any other way, Carlos. Any other way. So she decided to go on his Messy Mondays YouTube and let him know there, along with everyone else. His face was cracked, like, as it should be, because you do this all the time to your reality TV stars, according to them. All right? And shout out to the person that came in before we even started and disliked the video. It could be Martell. It could be Coleslaw. It could be Carlos. It could be any of, but we appreciate the engagement. Thank you. All right? Oh, wait. I saw this comment. Hold on. Let me see this comment. Thailand says, Carlos woke up the tourists in Kempire. Just saying. Okay, Brown says JJ is also a host on the podcast. Okay. That was my first time ever watching this, so I didn't know. All right? Anyways. So Willie did talk more about why they decided, and basically, to summarize what he said, is that this show and what was playing out on the show does not align with who they are and what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go in their lives. And again, that's why I was shocked that you guys were still on in season 5 of Belle Collective. But I'm glad you guys made the decision, and you made that decision on your own, as opposed to, and that's why Aikisha said in that video, I got my pickup letter. And then Carlos was like, yeah, all of that during the reunion. See what I had to listen to during the reunion? In the words of Carlos King. I was like, oh my God, what is going on right now? I literally did not sit down and watch it. I had to just sort of like do other things, prepare for this live, and listen and watch at the same time. Because I had already watched it because it came on right after Love and Marriage Huntsville on my YouTube TV recording the other night when I watched Love and Marriage Huntsville. So this one I had to go back and watch. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. Anyways, navigating life after 40. I might have to watch your channel. I stopped watching that show. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Anyways, so just a little bit about the reunion for Belle Collective. For those that are just joining us, I did watch it. Yes, I did watch it. All right. So at the very top of this reunion, there's that beef between Aikisha, Latrice, and Letitia. Letitia, you have a problem, okay? Damn, I'm sorry, Pretty Pig Survivor. The Kempire, you scared my dog out of his nap with those noises. Well, I'm sure you didn't watch the Belle Collective reunion then. Your poor dog, okay? So at the top of this, we're already starting out with the beef between Aikisha, Letitia, and Latrice. I don't know what happened between Latrice and Letitia. And now they're back together, and Aikisha says, you guys had to come back together in order to come up against me. I believe that because Letitia couldn't. Letitia has tried. Letitia has been pressed by Aikisha since she came on Ferris Street because she actually had a business. She actually had a plan. And for someone that holds these brunches to uplift women, black women specifically, Letitia, you seem to be the only one pressed by anyone, a black woman, that might have more than you. The only person that you really haven't gone up against is Maurice. And congratulations to Maurice on her doctorate. Because at first, when they said Dr. Maurice, I was like, wait, did she get an honorary doctorate? No, Maurice did the work and got her doctorate. So congratulations to Maurice. But I wouldn't be surprised in the future if Letitia and Maurice have an issue because she's accomplished and she's done a lot. But it seems to be a pattern of Letitia being pressed by women that have more than she does or are more accomplished than she is. I appreciated when Dr. Antoinette came out and she's like, enterprise. Because remember, when I used to recap the show, I said, what is this enterprise? What exactly is Letitia doing in this empty office? What is she doing? I don't know. And honestly, at this particular point, I don't care. I don't understand why Latrice has an issue with Aikisha. Maybe she's pressed as well. I didn't get to watch the reunion, but I did see what went down. Not the reunion, the finale, but I did see the husbands getting crunk at that. So Gucci, Sophia, I see a lot of people make commentary. It seems as if the issue isn't really between So Gucci and Selena. The issue seems to be more between Selena and JJ. Based off of the part 1 of the Belle Collective reunion, it felt as if JJ doesn't want So Gucci and Selena to be good because of their issues, and maybe they will exchange notes. And Carlos said to So Gucci, I want you to know that you did nothing wrong. Is he trying to have an Oprah moment? It was almost like that Martell moment when he was trying to have that heartfelt moment with the narcissist that is Martell. But I guess you can't see narcissism when you might be a narcissist yourself. In the words of Carlos King. Carla, you are Carlos King. You could just say it. Just say it. All right? But I did see during the season, so Gucci's daughter opened up about wanting to unalive herself. Marie, has talked about that before, and she has been a source of strength for So Gucci and her daughter. So they talked about that. They also talked about Marie's home getting powed, and how they still haven't found the people that did it. So some real stuff happened during the season of Belle Collective. So I understand why some of you have been into it this season. I cannot promise you that I'm going to go back and watch this season. Okay, I can't promise you that. I don't have the time. I have plenty of other things to watch. But I might watch part 2 of this Belle Collective reunion. I can't promise that I'll watch season 6, especially because now Aikisha's leaving, and I actually thought Aikisha brought a lot of credibility to the show. But by the end of this reunion, we see Dr. Antoinette. You remember, she's an OG. She's an OG. She came back this season, so she comes to the reunion. And she hasn't let go that Letitia insinuated that Antoinette flirted with Glenn. Glenn. I remember Glenn. Look, like I said, I may have not watched the show in the last couple of seasons, but I remember Glenn and the toxic relationship between Letitia and Glenn. I can't believe that Letitia's still with Glenn. And I don't believe that Dr. Antoinette flirted with Glenn. She didn't deny it, though. She came out. She's like, have you seen him? I mean, she didn't deny it. Like, I'm being fair. She didn't deny it. She didn't deny it. But she's like, have you seen Glenn? It's not even just about seeing Glenn. Have you met Glenn? The type of man that he is and how he treated Letitia. Why would anybody be interested in Glenn? And then Letitia gets so pressed about it. She's like, when Dr. Antoinette said, Oh, and Letitia, first of all, she called out Letitia, and then she was like, oh, Enterprise. And Letitia Pearson Enterprises. And we're all wondering, Look, what is the Enterprise? But for me, Letitia, and you can clearly see that Carlos likes Letitia because she's willing to be a producer. He himself has referred to her as the Kyle Richards of Belle Collective. So she will produce, okay? She will produce. I feel like she will do the dirty work of production. So I've never enjoyed Letitia on this show. I don't think I ever will enjoy Letitia on the show. From the reunion, I definitely did not enjoy Letitia. And I'm never team anyone, but I'm going to be team Dr. Antoinette. Do you want to see Dr. Antoinette return? Why didn't she return after the first season? That would be my question. And I kind of want to know, remember she was building a dental office. Letitia insinuated that dental office wasn't open and that Dr. Antoinette wants to come back. She wants to come back. Oh. Do you think Dr. Antoinette wants to come back? I mean, look, I want to know. I want to unpack that more. I kind of want to know, okay? Just like on TikTok says the doctor left because of image. I could see that. I can see that. But I'm still keeping an open mind in regards to, exactly, Natalie. I thought the same thing Natalie says. This show is no Beverly Hills. But you know Carlos, what he likes to do. Quote himself. But the reunion, based off of what I've watched, I just shared with you the boiling points of what came out at part 1 of the Belle Collective reunion. I have not watched the show in a very long time. Apparently, there were some interesting things about mental health that were discussed. They even had a mental health expo. Sorry, So Gucci. It's a running joke when we talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I thought that was really, really cool. I don't know how I feel about the So Gucci and Selena stuff because I feel like there's so much more there. And I don't believe that this beef is really between these two women. But I'm going to keep an open mind. So Gucci, I'm going to call you Sophia. Okay, I'm going to call you Sophia. Hey, Chef Don Don. Chef Don Don says, according to her live, she moved to South Florida and sit her practices down. What do you mean? Like she's not practicing anymore? Why did she move to South Florida? Shay says Kempire Glenn don't have a no job. He still don't have a job. Lord have mercy. So Letitia's taking care of. Wait, so Letitia Enterprise is not a real thing, right? So what exactly is? Okay. KH.com says, according to the state of Mississippi, Mint Dental wasn't sold. Okay, so what happened? I'm trying to... Okay, all right. Oh, it wasn't shut down. Okay, look, we're gonna continue to follow this, at least to part 2. I can't promise you, because if something else important comes up next week, I won't be talking about Belle Collective, but it seems that the issues are still... I don't know how they mapped this reunion, but it's fine. We talked about the beef between Selena and So Gucci a little bit. I think that's going to be more. The husbands are going to come out next week. Then we talked about Aikisha and her issues with Latrice. Latrice has an issue with Aikisha. And, of course, Letitia's bothered by Aikisha. That's been since Aikisha's been on the show. And then Dr. Antoinette came out. All right. Look all right. And Carlos was the entire time. Sorry to anyone's dogs. That's what happened. Okay. So Gucci changing back to Sophia during the season. Okay. D says Mint is a franchise. Okay. So was she a part of she opened up one of the dental practices? I remember she was building it. KH says the Enterprises is a real LLC. Is it? I mean, anyone can have an LLC. You know that, right? Anyone can set up an LLC, but has it made money? She probably set up an LLC for her brunches that really do not support other women, but fine. Okay. Anyways, congratulations to Carlos and a new season of Belle Collective. Again, no promises that I'll talk about it next week. I can't. Look, I have commitment issues, okay, when it comes to stuff like this. I can't. But I will try. If I have time next week, I have to say I had a little bit more time because of the holidays. Okay, but other than that, I'm like, All right, let me say thank you. SD Mac, thank you so much for the super chat. SD says, I didn't like Carlos insinuating himself into Soguchi and JJ's marriage. Let the women weigh in, not the boss. Almost telling her to pick the job or her man. I did see that, and I was uncomfortable with what he was saying to Soguchi. It was like, I think you might be overstepping here. I feel like you might be overstepping. I agree with SD Mac. The way that he handled that conversation. But again, it was just Carlos trying to have a moment as opposed to stepping back. Because this is what makes you a terrible reunion host. Because this has become about you and you constantly talking versus engaging people. You're a moderator. They should be the ones talking the most, not you. And you should step in when maybe they're over talking each other or the message is not going in the right place and you want to redirect them. That's one thing. But the entire time, I felt like you were the one trying to be the star. I'm not surprised that has been a continued thing with you. Anyways, Teresa says Carlos is no Andy Cohen. But Andy Cohen is not that great either. Andy Cohen is not a great reunion host. Is he better than Carlos? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. I can see this. Donna says we need Dustin as the reunion host. But that's the thing. He'll have Dustin on his YouTube channel, but he won't put Dustin on his actual show. Because you're right. Dustin would actually add intellect and be able to engage in this conversation a lot better. Dustin for the Belle Collective reunion. But Carlos, although he wants to say he puts people on, you'll put them on your YouTube, but you won't put them on your television show. Dustin, who wants to see Dustin be the host for the next reunion? I want to see him the host for the Love and Marriage reunion. I want to see him the host for this next one, this next Belle Collective, next season, of course, because this has been filmed already. Oh, but the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion was filmed already too. Just saying, Dustin for the win. Look, Dustin for the win. But that's the thing, and that's the problem I have with Andy Cohen as well. Andy Cohen doesn't need to host any of these reunions. There are plenty of young talent over at NBC Universal and Bravo that could also host those reunions as well. So I've gotten on Andy Cohen about that as well. See, all of these folks that were behind the camera and probably were not that great in school now want to be the big stars now they have this moment. They want to come from behind the camera, which is fine. But you also don't want to bring other people behind you. Just saying. Look, just saying. Shalon says, why do they host them? Ego. Look, ego. Mia says, they don't want to release the reins. I just added that part, Mia. Mia wasn't being shady, or were you? OG says, I nominate Kempire for the host. I withdrew my nomination for that. I don't want to. It's not a show I'm passionate about. But Dustin does talk about the show, and Dustin, I feel like, would be impartial and handle a lot of these conversations with intellect and actually pronunciate words correctly. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, guys. Did you watch? How would you rate this week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville? Look. Anyways, okay. Okay, wait, no. Lou Mac, see, I'm fair. Lou Mac says, I like Carlos and Andy hosting. Okay. All right. Here go Winter. Winter says, Dustin has a sexy voice. Winter. Winter's like, I am single again. I'm not talking to my... I'm sorry. Winter's not going to tell us her business anymore. Because every time I see Winter in the chat, I'm like, Winter and her Taurus boo. But she's not with the Taurus anymore. It didn't work out. Whoa. Newsy says, I don't watch, just recaps. Oh, damn. Okay, fine. Anyways. All right, let me open my notes for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We will talk about the Tasha K and the Martell of it all in just a second. But let's first start off with Ken and Trish. For season 10, I don't know, they may have already filmed season 10. For season 11, look, for season 11, Oh, Tyrese says, I would prefer DJ Richie Sky. Shout out to DJ Richie. Richie just opened up about losing his dad. So shout out to DJ Richie. Our prayers out to him and his family during this very, 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 very difficult time. But I don't even think Richie wants to host the reunion. Just saying. I mean, I guess if the check is right, we would all consider it. No, I still wouldn't consider it. No, I don't want to. Leave me alone. Anyways, Ken and Trish. Oh, Lord. First of all, I was shocked. This was us all finding out that Trish is an engineer. She's been an engineer for the last 18 years. So now she wants to move on from that and be a fitness, influencer or whatever, a trainer. Okay. I didn't know that she was an engineer. It makes a lot more sense because I could see her being really smart, but just not a people person, reality TV star. So I was like, oh, okay. I know her parents are probably like, her parents are rest in peace. But I'm sure they would be like, we would prefer you be an engineer than a fitness influencer or fitness trainer. But okay, and then Ken was like, they're talking about the business. And he's like, well, you're lucky to have the best multitasker in a man. He really is Captain Save-A-Ho. He wants to be the man. I wonder if she didn't need him anymore, how this relationship dynamic would change. I pay attention to these little comments. Because he's like, you're lucky to have the best multitasker in the world. Well, according to many scientists, they say multitasking actually is very inefficient. So the fact that he's the best multitasker says to me he's inefficient. He said, I'm the lucky you. Okay. Whatever. So then they talk about Marquez. Here's where, Trish, you lose me. Because, again, Marquez is not a good person. We can tell. I don't care what he wants to paint in front of us on this show. We can tell that Marquez is just as shaky as you, okay? But what I didn't love was the fact that you brought up what the kids said about him on the show. It's one thing if we see the kids do it, like we saw with your son, but the fact that you pointed out that the daughter says that she doesn't want, I wrote this down. Said that that's Marquez to me, not dad. Again, if they said that, fine. I would rather see them say that as opposed to you regurgitate something that they said on this national television show. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. I was like, okay. Again, Marquez is not great. Marquez is not a good guy, I can tell. But I don't like Captain Save-A-Ho, and I don't like the fact that you are bringing up what your child maybe said to you in confidence. Maybe she didn't want her dad to know that she said that. Maybe she didn't. Or maybe she wanted her dad to know, but maybe she didn't want the world to know that. Like the kids that she goes to school with. Or other people, or other family members. See, Nacho Twin says, yeah, Trisha being an engineer track. Yeah, it made sense to me. And I'm okay. Follow your passion. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people probably would have said to me too, but I don't listen to anybody. I'm a stubborn Taurus. Don't quit your good paying job with benefits. And you on the fast track. You could be I'm sure a lot of people would have said the same thing about me. So I'm not going to say that about Trish. What I will say to Trish, don't be a reality TV star because you won't lose very quickly because nobody cares. Look, nobody cares. Anyways, exactly. Pretty Pink Survivor says, all three are weird. And I'm over their storyline. I'm over it. I don't care. But since we're here talking about the episode, I said I would talk about it. But I really don't give a damn about this storyline. So then Ken says, so are you ready to get married? Are you ready to get married? Look, I'm going to defend Trish. I don't blame her. Literally, the woman just got a divorce, and I know they haven't been together for a few years, but I highly doubt that someone that just signed papers to end one marriage, which has been difficult in regards to getting him to do it as well, I feel as if I understand why she wouldn't be like, okay, I'm ready to talk about marriage again. And she's like, it's not Ken, it's more so, I just got out of this situation. So that's why she's hesitant to get married again. I don't blame her. But Captain Save-A-Ho wants to, I think in his head, once he gets married, I think he wants to marry Trish. However, I also think that based on what I've seen of Ken so far, I think that's his way of taking another jab at Marquez. Come on. I feel like I think that's another way for him to be like, now I'm married to her too. I think there might be a little bit of that. I do believe that he wants to marry Trish, but I also believe on some level he wants to take another dig at Marquez. And look, Marquez was not great. He was not great at this party. And Ken says, he didn't love the fact that he made this toast and he made it about the men and not about the kids. And this was supposed to be about the kids. All of y'all are wrong. As Pretty Pink Survivor just said, all of y'all are weird. All of y'all are weird. Tiffany, I'm not going to even read what you just said in the comment section, but I see you. Not for the streets. What? Oh, Peachy says they are not divorced yet in present day. Velocity says they are still not. Because you guys keep me up to date on what the streets are saying. They're still not divorced. So she signed her side of the divorce papers, notarized it. We found out later on in the episode that she still hasn't brought it to the office. I'm busy. So that's also quite telling. I don't know what she's holding out for, but girl, they're still not divorced. So Captain Save-A-Ho is probably mad as hell. Are they still together? Because I remember a few months ago, he was on one of the YouTube channels. I think it was a Carlos's YouTube channel talking about they had an issue. Are they still together? Probably. He's not gonna give up until he marries her. Anyways. All right. Speaking about Captain Save-A-Ho, and when I'm going to put an emphasis on ho, Martell meets up with Maurice. This conversation, and y'all know I am team no one, okay? We don't know these people. I feel like everyone in this situation is wrong. I don't love the fact that Melody even brought up the whole, lipstick on his collar or lipstick on his... I hate the fact the situation itself is serious enough. Let's keep it there. Because, again, I didn't see any of the rumors. I know some of y'all in the chat said, I saw. I didn't see any of it. Kimmy said she didn't see any of it. Tricia said she didn't see anything of it. I did not see it. I'm not saying that it wasn't out there. But, again, the situation at hand was serious enough. The way that Maurice handled it the next day was serious enough. Let's keep it there. But let me tell you, when I watched this scene between Martell and Maurice gaslighting Melody, like, I haven't seen the real Melody in such a long time. Well, I think the Melody that you want to see is the Melody that was dealing with a man that was cheating on her for years. The Melody that you want to see is the doting wife that was protecting her husband at every turn. Maybe that's what you have drilled into Kimmy and what we don't love about Kimmy anymore. Maybe that's what you want to see from Melody. So Maurice decides that he's going to go over to Martell's home because he wants to be able to rectify the situation between Martell and Marceau. Okay? But based off of that interview that we saw with Marceau's alleged, I don't believe the interview was terrible. Based off of that and you catching a stray in that makes me think, well, do you want to make sure that Martell is peaceful? Because if Marceau's stuff comes out, so does your stuff come out? I'm like, is he coming in to do damage control because he knows a lot of things went down at Credit One, allegedly? Is that why you were trying to, let me just make peace between Marceau and Martell? Maybe. But Maurice Luther King Jr., I just can't with you right now. because you really come in here on this holier than thou attitude instead of really humbling yourself. And I get it, at the time of filming, this was still being litigated in regards to his DUI, but you need to come very humble because you still have not said whether or not, even until present day, now that the charges have been dismissed, whether or not you were drinking and driving. We definitely knew you were drinking the night before. Or, the night before. Remember, they said he was arrested at noon. So why did they pull you in? Because you were arrested because you denied a breathalyzer? I don't know the rules in Alabama. Every state is very different. What they did in Maryland with Karen Huger is not what they're going to do in other states. Okay. So back to this. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. Anyone else notice in this episode alone, Martell, anytime he tries to respond or answer anything, it's like word salad. He says a bunch of words that mean nothing. And this is why I'm just like, you, sir, are an idiot. He just says a bunch of stuff, and then when he doesn't know what else left to say, he's like, yeah. A bunch of nothing. He did it with the therapist. I had to rewind that therapist scene multiple times. Everything she said was perfectly clear, but anytime he would respond, I'm like, what is he saying? Okay, fine. So, but you know, Maurice Luther King Jr. always has a speech to give you in every scene. So he's doing most of the talking, thankfully, because if we relied on Martell to give us a scene, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So he says that he thinks that the root of Martell and Marceau's issues is because of Scult. That Martell's driving around Huntsville seeing Scult everywhere, and because he's no longer in Scult, this is part of the reason why he's mad. And Martell in his head, he's like, he never thought of that, so he started like, yeah, that's why I'm mad. Yeah. That might be it. Oh my God, this man is so dumb. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, it's not Sunday though. Monday. So dumb. He's like, yeah, that might be it. Look, that might be it. And Maurice said a key thing here. He says, I think, Martell, you will bring out anything when you're angry. Again, another reason why I think that Maurice might be trying to simmer Martell before he actually releases any damaging information on Marceau that could also damage him. Not Maurice Luther King Jr. having skeletons in his closet. So, which is true, because we're seeing it play out right now with Martell on social media. When he's angry, he just puts everything out, but everything that he's putting out is dumb. But we're not surprised. Sidebar. Why does Tasha K do such a good Ariane impersonation? Did anyone else fall out when she did that impersonation? I said, shoot. I was like, that is pretty on point. Anyways, back. We'll get to that in a second. I know why y'all are here. I know why almost 1,600 of you are here right now. All right? And shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter. All right? So, he says that, you get when you get angry, you just say and do anything. Martell says that when he falls out with someone, it's always the other person. So Maurice Luther King Jr. says to him, he's like, so you're infallible. He's like, what's that mean? Thank God Melody is in those kids' lives. Because then we know that the education and the intelligence is going to be there. Because if we had to rely on Martell, Lord have mercy, okay? So this is when they lead into the conversation. He was like, oh, I met a deity the other day. He probably should have explained what a deity as well was to Martell, but Martell just sort of like grinned and like, uh-huh. So Maurice then goes into talking about Melody, and Melody insinuating that there, things about his arrest. Okay, and he says that Melody isn't going to do to him what she's done to everyone else. What has she done to everyone else? I want to know. And we know next week there's going to be a sit down between Melody and Maurice. That's going to be juicy. That is going to be juicy. Okay. So he then goes in to say that Maurice says that Melody should have come to him directly. Well, I already know a lot of you are going to say, well, did you guys come to her directly when all these things were coming up when it was about her? Okay, well, he feels as if she should have come to him directly with any accusations of, the DUI and this and that. This is what reality television is. We've talked about this before and on other reality TV shows when people talk about, like, why didn't you come? People are going to talk about these things because that's a part of your storyline, okay? Maurice then says that, hold on. I just don't want to go out of my order here. That she should. Then he says that Martell and Melody both believe in an insinuation as opposed to the facts. He says that they both, I'm going to use the word, weaponize insinuations versus the facts. Because they both know. He says that Martell does it a lot more, that putting an insinuation out there will hurt a lot more than the facts. Which is true. We've seen this across all reality TV shows. I think we are probably the only community here that say this is dangerous. Once it's put out there, it sticks to people. Okay? So this is what he's saying. The insinuation, probably about the affair. Okay? Then he says that Melody is famous because of what Martell did to her. And then I said, Self, well, the only reason why we even know who you are is also because of what Martell did. So Melody being famous because of this show and what played out on this show is the same reason why you're making money off of this show as well, Maurice. You might not be famous. You may not have a team Maurice, okay? And we're not going to even create one. Only person that has a team on here are is Melody, Tisha, Espo's Rise, and Destiny. The I Love Yous, all three of them. Those are the only three people on this show that have a fan base. Okay, two. All right, two people. I mean, really one. But come on. So he says that's the only reason why she's famous on this show. Look, that can be argued. I think there's a combination of things. I think the reason why Melody has garnered the millimeters, okay? Oh, the Dusties. Oh, I call them the I love yous. No, the Dusties. Sorry, you're right. That's their name. All three of them. Okay. Espo's Rise. Come on, Espos. Where the Espos at? Show yourselves. I haven't found one. Okay. I haven't found one. Let me take a sip from my water bottle. So no, here's the thing. I think the reason why Melody has garnered the fandom that she has, not just because of what Martell did. I think the reason why she has garnered the fans that she's garnered in recent years is because of how she's risen above despite what Martell has done. I think a lot of people have been inspired by Melody. Okay, you got out of this divorce. You continue to be successful. You've launched multiple business. You've become the star of the show. You even put your hand in music. I think that's part of the reason why. I think a lot of women have related to Melody because maybe they went through something. Some of y'all said that some people have trauma bonded with her. Maybe. But I also think that a lot of people have been inspired by what Melody has been able to overcome despite having 4 children with this less than smart man that continues to embarrass her on social media. I mean, I'm sure she's not embarrassed, but a lot of us are like, damn, Melody, this was your man? Fine. You can't help it at this particular point, okay? I know she could not see into the future of what he would become. But like I said, I feel as if Maurice, this was a dig. This was Maurice in his old school way of thinking, probably from the Maurice Luther King Jr. days, and what we've seen him do to his own wife. And I'm never going to let him forget what he at least played out as his storyline, that he wanted to have lovemaking even though Kimmy was recovering from cancer. I'm never going to forget that. That told me everything that I need to know about Maurice Luther King Jr. Told me everything. All right. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Edward, thank you so much for the super chat. Edward says, Kempire is on fire, spitting nothing but facts. 100. Thank you, Edward. Keisha or Kesha says, thank you so much for the super chat. Kesha says that shout out to the Espos. Shout out to the Espos. Just kidding. Happy New Year. I was about to say, are you coming out as an Espo, Keisha? Are you coming out as an Espo? Where are the Espos in the live chat? Show yourself. If you're part of the replay crew, show yourself. If you are an Espo, show yourself. Watch, she's going to make it a thing. Keisha, go make your t-shirts right now. Espos rise. I'll buy one. Look, I will buy one, Keisha. I will buy one, Tisha. Espos rise. Make it cute, though. And make it men's sizes. I want like a big sweatshirt. I need to stop giving them ideas. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Crystal says, I love Mel. I've purchased from her skincare line for my teen and I. However, the last 2 episodes doesn't show Mel in a great light. This is why I love our community. Because even if you like someone, we're more than willing to call them out when they're wrong. Crystal says, hopefully she can reflect and rise above as she's been, as she's done in the past. Exactly. I haven't loved it either. I think she should have just focused on the real issue. He was arrested for a DUI. Okay. Hey, Rita. Rita says, just saying hi. My kids are here and won't stop yapping, making fun of me watching. We'll continue watching later. Hey, kids. Hey, Rita's kids. I've tried Melody's lip scrub. Literally, I've been doing it lately. And I'll say this, someone the other day, not the other day, said my lips were soft. Anyways. So they work, Melody. They work. I was like, let me use this on what? All right, let me take a sip. And let me see what you guys. We're almost at 600 likes. Don't forget to like the video. SC Mac, thank you so much for another super chat. SC says, Mel and Ariana have expertly, Ariana from Vanderpump Rules, expertly tapped into the men ain't ish market. Tisha is now profiting off the stand by your man market. Everyone has a niche. Damn. Really? Really? Damn. All right. So back to this. Oh, wait, hold on. Christian says, I'm a mini Espo. Does that count? Yes. That does count. A mini Espo. Tisha, there's a mini Espo in the building. All right, so back to Maurice and his conversation with Martell. Maurice then goes on to say he hasn't seen that Melody from back in the day in a long time. He says that she's always protecting her image. Some of y'all could benefit from protecting your image. Anyone that's in the public eye are trying to protect their image. They're not trying to give you, well, some are giving you, maybe they should learn to protect their image. I don't see anything wrong with Melody trying to protect her image. A lot of you on this show could learn a thing or two, especially with all of this Martell and the Scott's drama. A lot of you could learn a thing or two on protecting your image. But for me, watching the scene with Maurice Luther King Jr., I was like, OMG, you were trying to gaslight Melody, saying the only reason, he didn't say it like this, but he was basically saying the only reason why she's famous is because of this cheating scandal. there are plenty of people that get cheated on reality television and are not able to bounce back. As SD Max says, Ariana is one of the rare people to do it. She was smart in how she handled it. She was like, you know what? And honestly, it was the best decision she ever made because now she has so much more other than the show that's now being revamped. And now all those folks are losing their mind in regards to, like, what am I going to do right now in regards to my money? A lot of these folks depend on their money from a reality show. So very much like Ariana, this is what we're seeing Melody do as well. Godchild says, Kempire, Tisha calls her fans the T-Squad. She was trying to give T-shirts away months ago. Well, Tisha, I bet you a lot of people would buy Espo's Rise. Giselle said that made no sense when he said it. I knew exactly what he was doing. He was gaslighting her, and this was probably what he's done to Kimmy. He was gaslighting the situation, like, oh, the Melody from years ago that was in a toxic relationship with Martell, I can bet you 100% that Melody does not want to be that woman ever again. Okay? As Mrs. Dash says, I like Espo better. Me too. Ye says he gaslights everyone. I know. FAH says that Kimmy has turned out to be a big disappointment. But she might be the product of the gaslighting that she calls as her husband. But let me tell you, when I was watching this the first time, I went on Twitter, I was like, what is this man talking about? You came in this holier than thou. Mind you, this man was just arrested for a DUI. Is coming into the situation trying to mend fences between Marceau and Martell. Then he's talking about how Melody is a deity. You, sir, need some self-reflection. Because you walk around here like you're perfect. And you are not. Let's talk about your DUI. What happened there? Anyways, but here we go with the fan. Oh, he can't talk about it because it's a legal situation. How about you don't do anything like that so you're not in the situation where you can't talk about it? How about that? Anyways, speaking of Kimmy and Trish meet up and they discuss being an entrepreneur. I love that conversation because a lot of you say that this show has turned into something completely different. So they talk about being an entrepreneur. Trish says she wants to open a gym. Opening a gym in this day and age is actually not a smart business move. A lot of gyms are closing unless you're part of like a big a franchise. Opening a gym in this day and age, unless there are no gyms in Huntsville, and there's an opening there, I just don't think that would be a smart move for her. First of all, to buy a commercial building at this particular, unless you're going to do other things. And no, I don't think that's a smart move. But anyways, Kimmy talks more about being an entrepreneur. As someone that is an entrepreneur, I completely agree with Kimmy in regards to, some people feel as if, when you're an entrepreneur, that you're going to work less. Maybe in the future. However, you already know how I work. And I probably work more now than I did when I was working for a law firm. And I used to work 7 days a week with that law firm too, at certain points. And late nights. So when it's yours, it just feels different. When you're working for yourself and you're working for your own stuff. So they talk about that, and I appreciated that conversation. All right. Then Kimmy talks about her conversation with Melody and how Melody did not want to talk about the situation. Trish and Kimmy then say that they didn't see the lipstick rumor as well. Again, I agree. I did not see that. Some of y'all said that you did. I did not. And I usually see a lot. Especially even when I don't want to see. I didn't see that. The first time I ever saw that was out of Melody's mouth. Okay? All right. Trish, I don't know why we're back here talking about how you met Martell, but she drops another nugget. That Chris Fletcher is the one, according to Martell, who's a habitual liar. Chris Fletcher's the one who told Martell, try to get them together. We don't care. I don't know about anyone else. We no longer care about how whatever went down between you and Martell. Now I'm believing that there's a lot more to it. Whatever happened between you and Martell, we no longer care. Apparently, it never went past go. Okay? We don't care. I don't care if Chris Fletcher insinuated, said, I don't care. I barely care about Trish and what's going on with you and Marquez. We definitely don't care about you and your non-existent whatever happened between you and Martell. So why are we back here talking about it? Oh, now Chris Fletcher is in there? We don't care. We don't care. What we do care about is the fact that you still have not brought the paperwork down to City Hall in order for them to file your divorce papers. And Kimmy says in her confessional, when you really want something done, you will get it done no matter what. But Trish is like, I've been busy. I got a lot going on. You know, we're back in the office. More than anything, the fact that you're back in the office means that you're out and about. Like when you're home, it's like, oh, I really don't want to leave. But you're out and about back at the office, meaning that, okay, you know what? During my lunch break, I'm going to go drop this off. Or before work, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to drop this off. That is something we're more concerned about. We don't care about you and Martell. But of course, they talk about it later on in the episode. So Martell meets with his therapist. Beautiful therapist. Smart therapist. Okay? I don't know about you guys when he said that, oh, you've been here before. I was getting flashbacks to the Trish situation. I was like, I don't need to know about this. I don't want to know if there's any history between Martell and this therapist. I think that this was just a scene. I don't know if he's actively going to see this therapist, but whatever. So she sits down and she has a conversation with him on, you know, what are your goals? And he says that his goal is to raise successful children. And that said everything that needed to be said for me. Because I feel as if he really has no goals. And for people that want successful children, I think they would have said a little bit more than, oh, I want successful children. And how are we going to achieve that? Not from a man that doesn't know what infallible means. Just saying. Like, some of y'all probably didn't know infallible either. Crystal says, did you notice when the therapist looked at the camera like, boy, please, when he said that he had no other issues to work on? I wasn't surprised by his answer. Was anyone else surprised by his answer? Martell, I know we love to use the word narcissist and throw that word around. Martell has shown me, like, no, like, he is dangerous and a narcissist. And no one should be with him. Coleslaw shouldn't be with him. Tasha K insinuated she believes that they're married. I honestly don't even care. If I wouldn't be surprised if they were married because Coleslaw is less than smart as well. So I could see her, no matter how many times this man has denied her in the public forum, would marry this man. Okay. Mosquito says, I can't pass an open book test. Yeah, not smart. Okay. Anyways. Christian says, I mean, get him again, Kempire. Get him again. Well, look, we're not going to be done with Martell because after this, we're going to get into what Tasha K had to say in regards to Martell and their text conversation. Okay? So she says that they had a conversation in their previous sessions about inner substance versus the exterior, which said to me, oh, so she gets it. She knows exactly what she's dealing with when it comes to Martell. Martell is always at the surface. There is no depth to him. And there probably is, because there's depth to all of us, but he's unable to get to that depth, okay? He can't get there. Martell's talks about ignoring red flags, and I almost fell out of my sofa. My sofa is not that high from the ground. I said, ignoring red flags coming from the walking red flag? Because he always makes himself the victim. He made himself the victim with his conversation with Maurice earlier in the episode. Now he's making himself the victim again. You know, I always, ignore red flags. All right? He then says that he thinks that the only thing that he needs to work on in regards to that is ignoring the red flags of other people. And when he says that, she's like, that's the only thing that you need to work on? Well, he's like, well, you tell me what I need to work on. Because he has no depth. He has no understanding of him possibly being wrong. He has no understanding of that. Which to me, watching this therapy session, I was like, oh, so he is really... And look, we don't know her diagnosis of him, but I think she knows exactly what she's dealing with. I got nothing from their conversation. Maybe she got a little bit more. Again, we're watching a snapshot of a probably longer conversation. Exactly. Rhonda says that Martell is a textbook narcissist child. Very true definition. I literally, if you want to know what a narcissist is, just watch Martell. He takes no ownership. He has no depth to him. Even though there is depth there, he can't function at that level. He can't function at that level. All right. Since we're talking about Martell, before we get to Martell's open house, because I'm thinking to myself, this open house that we're watching, okay, we'll talk about the open house first because there's not much to say here. So everyone's arriving for the open house. Kimmy is like, oh my God, I'm just so happy to see Martell, doing stuff and getting back up on his feet. And I was like, I wonder how she feels now after he decided to bring Marceau's alleged side piece, who now has she alleged that Maurice, I don't know what side of the hole that he got, but she had one in her mouth and one in the back. Her mouth, her words. Look, her words, okay? We did a live reaction to that. If you missed it, go check it out, okay? So I was like, I wonder how they feel now. The way they were bigging up Martell this episode from Maurice's conversation with Martell earlier in the episode and then this conversation. Here's the thing. What are we celebrating in regard? Did Martell build this house with his own hands? We know he didn't use his own builder's license. Maybe he decided to do the decor. Did you do the decor, Martell? It looked like a nice house. It looked anything new. It looks good. But I'm like, what exactly did you do in this process? Because you have a habit of taking credit for things that you didn't do. So we saw the builder. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if you hired someone to do the staging. So what exactly did you do? Just put your name on it? Very much like you did when you were married to Melody? Okay. Okay. He called himself an investor? With what money? What money? Nicole says that open house was a joke. They couldn't find another more believable get-together. This show is a whole joke at this point. Okay. All right. Here's the thing. We have a person that's a pathological liar. So him saying that he's an investor says to me, here's what I think. Allegedly, he's saying that he's an investor, but he didn't probably put any money in. Okay. He probably said, I'll get the house featured on the show. I'll get the house featured on the show, and that is our exchange. And that will get the house sold. He's like, oh, we have millions of people to watch the show, blah, 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 blah. And look, he's not wrong. But now I'm starting to think to myself, I'm like, that's how he invested in the property. Okay. JH says, I mean, he does get paid from the show, laughing out loud. I bet Melody gets paid a lot more than he does. Let me see. Omisha says, an open house is nothing more than an opportunity to get potential buyers to come out and look at the home to possibly purchase. They made a big deal about it as if it was something bigger. Oh, Misha, yeah. Look, okay, fine. So they end up talking about, at this open house, about Ken's issues with Marquez. I will give Martell credit. Now, me giving Martell credit. When he explained where Marquez was coming from, I was like, well, you know what? That is depth that I did not realize that Martell had. That Marquez might still be upset, might be still somewhat in love with Tricia. We kind of already knew that. But the fact that he made that observation, I said, oh. I was like, all right, Martell. Maurice decided, let's toast to Martell. I wonder how he's feeling about this toast now that he sees that Martell basically threw him under a bus in that interview. Okay. Then Trish is on the inside. The guys go outside. They're talking about their own stuff, whatever. Trish then says that she's still in file the paperwork, whatever, okay, at the courthouse. Trish says that Chris is the one that told Martell to reach out to her. So Nell goes outside like, you need to come on in here because they're saying that you were the one that introduced Trish and Martell. So they go inside to figure it out, and Martell backtracks and says, no, Chris didn't introduce us or tell me to, to reach out to her. Chris told the story and says, oh, well, I was at the gym and she was at the gym, and I was on the phone with Martell, and Martell was like, oh, any cute women there, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, there's a lot of cute women here, and this is that. I don't care. We could sit here and try and figure out if Chris Fletcher was implicated in regards to maybe introducing these two. If nothing happened between the two of them, they met up once and nothing happened, we don't care at this point. It doesn't matter if Chris was the one that told Martell to reach out. Who cares? Nothing happened. Oh, because Chris knew at the time that she was married? Okay. JJ says, why she brought it up? I don't know. I'm thinking a producer was in Trisha's ear saying, bring this up. Because it made no sense. Why are we still harping on this? It doesn't make you look good. Okay. Hi, I'm Liv says, if Martell married Coleslaw, it's because the family case said they can't have overnight guests and stuff because of the kids. Oh, that's a theory. Okay. Tabby, thank you for being here. Tabby says the fact that Chris cheated in the past and did this, Nell should be looking at him crazy. So apparently she cares. Rita, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Thank you. Miss Goody Two Shoes, thank you for the super chat. Miss Goody Two Shoes says, it's crazy because I haven't seen Kimmy happy since we met her in season 1. Wow, if only Maurice would notice. He's too busy wondering if she's going to give him sex. SD Mac, thank you for another super chat. Says, Wanda been told y'all about Kimmy. # free Wanda. Laughing out loud. You know what? Really? So you're an Espo, SD Mac. So you're an Espo? Are you an Espo, SD Mac? All right. So Chris and Martell lies all the time. I can't believe a thing that he says. But as you know, we did a live reaction talking about this interview that Martell did with Marceau's alleged mistress, Chanel, okay? Coleslaw is the one that did the interview. Well, Tasha K on her YouTube channel came out and explained the timeline of how this all came together. Because originally, Tasha K was supposed to do the interview, all right? Teresa says, where's Wanda J. Blige? Y'all don't want her on the show, so leave her Wanda where she is, okay? Let me play a clip for you in regards to what Tasha K had to say a few days ago in regards to what played out and why she ended up not doing the interview, okay?
Moving on. Last but not least. So let me tell y'all what happened. All right, so remember I told y'all that after Letitia and Marcel came on Carlos King's show, I think it's called Messy Monday, on Carlos King's channel, to say that Martell Holt was gay. Martell Holt immediately called me to say, oh, Tasha, they said I was gay. I was like, for real? I ain't surprised, but listen, I know he ain't gay, but I'm just saying he just, he's one of Tyler Perry types. I can see, but I know he's not, but he does give, like I said, Tyler Perry would definitely cast him in a movie. He may have to do some extras for a little extra money, but And so he was like, I got something for him. He was like, I've been trying to spare Marcel. I've been trying to spare Marcel. And I've been trying to spare. He going to let his wife call me gay. And we hit hoes together. So I was like, oh. And I was like, you got the hoe? He said, I got you. I'm going to be right back. I said, okay, cool. Go get the hoe. Come right back.
Not get the hoe.
So then he calls me. And he was like, Tasha, I got the hoe. I said, you got the hoe? He said, I got the hoe. He said, so when can we do it? I said, we can do it this weekend. Okay, that was the weekend before he had did the interview. Right? And I came out to tell you, I said, either I'm going to do it or, I don't know. But I do know there's a hole. They have located a hole that Marcel supposedly had hit, and they was going to get a hold of me to interview. Okay? And so we getting ready to set up the interview. So Martell's ex-side chick, who's now, I believe, his wife, Ariane, a.k.a. which I'll call her Coleslaw, okay? So listen. So he has Ariane on the phone with me because he was like, I want Ariane to be a part of the interview too. And I'm like, why does Ariane need to be a part of the interview? And so he was like, well, she wants to be a part of the interview. I'm like, okay, because she was with us sometime when we took trips and we all took our side pictures. I said, oh, okay, all right, well, I guess that makes sense, So then they called back again.
Pause. So if you watch the live reaction video that I did in regards to this interview, I told you what I found out based off an Instagram live that Martell did. The reason why that Coleslaw wanted to be a part of this interview is because Martell told Coleslaw that during the field day that Marceau had said some disparaging, degrading things about her. So she fell for it as opposed to Melody, because remember, he tried to do that with Melody too, and they played it out on the episode, and Melody went directly to Marceau and Tisha and says, I wanted to bring this to you. This is what he said. And they denied saying anything disparaging about Melody. But apparently because Coleslaw is less than smart, she fell for it and decided to do this weird interview.
And I'm like, all right, we're going to do this interview at night. Because I was catching a flight, to go somewhere. And I was going to delay my flight to be where I had to be just to do this interview for y'all. Ariane calls back and was like, well, Tasha, I got a question. I said, what's up, Ariane? How can I get views on my channel and bring this back? I said,
I'm sorry. I was not ready when Tasha K mimicked Coleslaw because I was like, oh my God, that's exactly how she sounds. That's exactly how she sounds.
I was back and was like, well, Tasha, I got a question. I said, what's up, Ariane? How can I get views on my channel and bring this back? I said, do the interview. Well, how can I get everybody to watch it? And I was like, do the interview. Okay, but I want views too. So, if you do the interview, can we do it with a collaboration channel? I said, YouTube don't let us collaborate like that, no. So it's either going to be on your channel or it's going to be on my channel. Okay, I'm going to call you right back. So she never called back because this got uploaded. So look.
Miss Martell.
Okay. It gets me every time. So she then watches parts of the interview. Tasha was very insulted that anyone even compared or said that she produced this interview. I mean, she should be. She should, because this was a hot mess. But the way that she sort of threw Martell under the bus during her YouTube live, I'm not surprised that Martell was upset about it. But I'm not surprised that she did that to him, okay? So this is the text exchange that Tasha K posted on her own Instagram. So let me pull that up, okay? So, hold on, maybe I move this here, okay? So, hold on, let me make this a little smaller. There we go. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're almost at 1,000 likes. We're at 745, but we have 2,200 of you watching. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And don't forget, more information on the Kempire After Dark live experience is available in the description. We're coming back to Washington, D.C. on Friday, January 24th, then back to New York City on Friday, February 21st. More information on that is available in the description along with our sponsor for today. Okay? All right. So Tasha posted this on her Instagram and said, Martell texted her and says, Tasha, what were you suggesting besides giving you the interview? You went hard at us. Oh, whoa, Martell. Are you surprised? Have you met Tasha K? So Tasha then says in response, Martell, you know I do wine, gossip, and comedy. That interview was an ish show. It was. It really was. She said, it made y'all look bad. And Ariane made you look soft, like a bee, telling you to hush. It looked like you employed your woman to fight your battles, which is what we said during the live reaction. Are we surprised? Because that's what he was trying to do with Melody during the episode. He said, the same thing that Marceau is doing with his wife. You should have left it to women's business. Okay. Speaking of the situation, because what sparked this situation was the field day between Martell and Marceau, which then brought in Letitia. And then he mentioned a guy that Letitia was with back in college days when Letitia wasn't even with Marceau. And then, because Martell is unhinged, posted on social media and then reposted multiple times by other people that were posting it, because he's like, oh yeah, I got the Martellators. I don't know. Look, I don't even know. Okay. He posted this on his Instagram story. Martell, you may have seen me in your Instagram story. Only there for business. I normally don't even go in your Instagram story. He asks Letitia, says, Letitia M. Scott, now is the perfect time to tell at Marceau about my friend who had you in the back of the Buick. Is he the one that caused the scare after Marceau's vasectomy too? Because you remember that was their storyline. I don't believe Letitia cheated. I really don't. Right, Espos? Espos Rise. I don't believe that she cheated. Okay? But this is not an old photo. So is the guy in blue the guy that hooked up with Letitia? Again, Huntsville is a small town. I'm sure Marceau has been around men that Letitia was with. Okay? But was this actually during their marriage or before their marriage or even before their relationship? Okay? So he says, hashtag shareable, hashtag fact, hashtag fishing trip. Martell, you have no credibility. Marceau is not an innocent person. Okay? But let up off of Tisha. Okay? Right, Espos? Am I an Espo today? All right? Am I an Espo? I don't believe that Tisha cheated on Marceau. I think that you have dug this picture up because this guy probably hooked up with Letitia before their relationship, and now you're trying to make it relevant. This is why I call you dumb, okay? Because your facts don't make sense. Very much like that interview that you did. Does not make sense. Like, I think you actually have valid information somewhere in your tiny brain. I think he does have information. But the way that you're putting out this information, I do believe that Marceau, Maurice, and Martell all know each other's dirt. Maybe cheated with each other. But every time you try to execute shade or a plan, it all falls short. It all falls short. Like, for me, this didn't land. And I saw a lot of people like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, wait, is this the guy that he was talking about that she had hooked up with back in the Buick before her marriage? Before her relationship with Marceau? If this is the situation, if this is the situation that you're talking about from when she was in college, this is not the smoking gun that you think it is, Martell. You know what the smoking gun is? That you're still falling short. You still haven't passed your builder's license. You still, you have a full-on child with your paramour. The receipts are receding when it comes to you and how you've fallen short. Marceau is not innocent, but you still have not delivered anything to us that seems credible. And I get it because you are not a credible person and you have not done any self-reflection. Maybe if you start doing some self-reflection, you would be able to come up with the facts and the plan better. Maybe the self-reflection will dust off the brain cells that have been lost, or that are not the brain cells that are not being used. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. And honestly, at this particular point, you have bigger issues to deal with than this situation. So for me, the only reason why I'm even talking about this is because we're doing a live talking about this show. But this is not the receipt that you think that it is. Very much like that interview you did is not the receipt that you thought that was. Woo, 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 Martell. Woo, woo, woo. Sunshine says, get your credibility together, Martell, and get them. Exactly. Like, come. I think, Martell, you played this wrong. Let me tell Martell how you should have played this. And this is way back. It's too late now. Well, it's never too late. But way back, if you really wanted Melody on your side, even if you guys didn't get back together, but I think you could have gotten back with Melody if you had just really shown accountability. Maybe she wouldn't take you back. I don't know if she would take you back. If you had really shown accountability and remorse and made some changes, I think she might have considered it. Or at least you guys would have had an amicable relationship. And I think if you guys had an amicable relationship, Melody would have your back. And she would help you execute a plan. You have not been able to execute a plan. I don't know. I don't know the last time you were able to execute a plan. Because every business has fallen short. This open house is not what you think that it was. I'm not understanding. But here we are. Miss Bug, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Bug says, I love you, Kempire. That's it. That's all. Thank you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. OMG. So that's it, y'all. I'm done with talking about this damn show. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Monday. Okay? Don't forget, guys, I want to hear from you. I might do a separate post or live asking you some of the top stories of 2024. I want to do that tomorrow in regards to breaking down some of the biggest stories of 2024. Rest in peace to former President Jimmy Carter and anyone that may have lost a loved one in 2024. All right. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. Thank you to everyone that sent in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, PayPals. Those of you that have taken advantage of our, discount right now with our friends over at Factor Meals. More information on that's available in the description. And for those of you that have already bought tickets for the Kempire After Dark live experience, we appreciate you guys as well. If you are in other parts of the world or other parts of the United States and you can't make it, there is a streaming option for the New York City. That's a separate link. All that information is available in the description. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying in the live chat before I go. Kelly, thank you so much for the super chat. Kelly says, is it hypocritical that Martell can mention the children but doesn't want them on the show? It is hypocritical, but are we surprised that Martell is hypocritical? He probably doesn't even know what that word means. Joyce, thank you so much for the super chat. Joyce says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Guys, we're almost at 900 likes. Can we get to 900 likes? Can we get to 1,000 likes? Just saying. Thank you, Jamaki. Jamaki says, thanks for all that you do. Thank you. Queen B More says, amen. Rest in peace to Jimmy Carter. He was good to be more. All right, let me see. Okay, hold on. Abby says that Martell's tagline should be "Stupid as a stupid does." Liv says that lady don't want that man. Why do y'all say that? Do y'all still want your broke and cheating exes back? Damn. You're welcome, Mrs. Dash. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Gorgeous A says, enjoyed this live. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Wait, hold on. Cece says, instead of a Target endorsement, maybe Tisha should try and get one with Buick. What in the Lisa Barlow? Okay. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.